You know, folks, I've been doing YouTube since 2015. I swear. But you'd think, from my behavior today, that this was my first YouTube video ever. And it's because I care. I figured it out. It's because I care. How you doing? For the purposes of this video, I'm happy to say my Nom Day video is Cable Guy Incognito. Welcome to Blueberry Wolf Bridge, aka No Intro RPG. Oil and water don't mix. I've tried to do new things on old channels and it doesn't work. So, you got to do new things on new channels. Even though this is an old thing for this old guy. Cable Guy Incognito, they call me many things. You'll call me many things, no doubt, over time. I got to get this channel to where I can live stream because I want to talk about my passion, one of my many passions. That's been a passion since my youth, when my youth has been many years ago. Old guy, started my first YouTube channel when I turned 40. Oh, geez. I'm going to be turning 47 next month. Whew. To some of you, I'm young. To some of you, I'm very old. Old. I feel old. But hey, neither here nor there. You like RPGs, I like RPGs. I like the video game RPGs, but I like the video game RPGs probably because they reminded me of my of the first RPGs I loved from my youth, growing up. So I gotta get this channel up. So I'm used to live streaming, and so this I got to start. And so because I'm used to live streaming, part of the hindrance for me for getting a new channel started, talking about role playing games, was getting used to doing content the old school way, and it was really difficult because what I really wanted to do was I found this passion for. So I'm into role playing games. I've been into role playing games since I was young. And I've always had a passion for it. The passion never went away, though, as people know, the ability to get together and organize, groups of people to get together and play these games in the old school way gets difficult with the complexities of life. So I continued with, as things went, I found myself to be more of a collector and almost, more of, in my kind of way, like almost like a historian or a follower of the culture. Not really playing so much, just as, being aware of what was developing in the communities and aware of, what different rule sets that were coming out and buying the books and collecting the books and, stuff. And then I became aware of this phenomenon of solo RPG role playing, people playing these tabletop role playing games solo, and also specific rule sets that were available for solo role playing, like Noah Patterson's Micro Chapbook RPG rule set, which is now in 1.7 up to rule set 1.75, though I'm a purist and sticking to rule set 1.5 until I get the hang of it and can self play without rampant mistake. I'm joking, but we'll get to that. We'll explore that aspect of it, I think, as this channel moves on. But I would love to do explore solo role playing. But like I said, when I was getting into that, I thought to myself, gee, this would be lovely to do, and I would love to do this. But I naturally saw it fitting in with my natural live streaming that I was doing on my main channels. But I knew that it would be very difficult to try and shoehorn in this stuff because I'd already done one radical reboot that was not working at all. To do two radical reboots in quick succession, I thought would be, really troublesome. So I thought the best thing to do would be to just kind of mosey on here to this new channel that I had started but hadn't done anything with, and just thought to just get it started. To take this channel and say, okay, this wasn't the original purpose of this channel, but we're going to just start. We got to start. Let's start. Let's get the party started. Let's go. Let's stop with the analysis paralysis. Let's start with the endless ramifications of, we're going to start a new channel. We'll start another new channel. We'll just, oh, what will it be if let's just make the new video. Let's just get some content up. Let's just get the party started. And if we get the party started on the wrong foot and the first video turns out to be too much of a ramble, well, then so be it, and we'll take it down. All we have to do is get the party started. All we have to do is get an intro video up, so we can get a video up that says, welcome to the new channel. The new channel is about role-playing games. I'm Cable Guy Incognito. I started playing role-playing games in about 1985. You know, it was the thing to do. We were into comic books, and then, you know, it was role-playing games. And it was Dungeons and Dragons, and it was... At the time, we didn't even really know what was going on. It was Dungeons and Dragons, and it was simultaneously Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And we had no real older kids in our group to kind of show us the way or tell us right from wrong. So we kind of got, me and my friend set kind of both got the same stuff at the same time, not really knowing what the difference was. We kind of assumed that you were supposed to start off with the red box of Dungeons and Dragons until you got advanced enough, and then you were supposed to play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. That's what we thought. That's honestly what we thought. We thought you were supposed to start with Dungeons and Dragons, and then when you were like mature, then you started to play Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We had like no idea. Like, you know, and it wasn't until like decades later that I was like, you know, could learn the history of like things. Like, this is like 85. Like, you know, the internet was like, no. And I'm a kid at that point. You know what I mean? I'm hustling around at like 10, 11 years old, having like no concept really of anything that's going on. And my purchases are mostly motivated by not any sort of intelligence about the integrity of the rule sets or the wisdom about what companies are putting together the best products or standing behind their products or, you know, have the best, you know, game engineering or designs. It's flashy advertising, and it's the IPs. You know, I buy the Judge Dredd role-playing game because I love Judge Dredd. You know what I mean? And largely at that age, you know what I mean, my intellectual ability to understand the rule sets was probably pretty limited. You know what I mean? It was largely me and my friends probably getting together and largely looking at these rule sets, understanding them as best we could, and really probably pushing a lot of, you know, paper cut flat miniatures around grids after rolling dice and counting up to 6. You know what I mean? You know, but we were doing what we could. You know what I mean? And it's these passions that stick with you. And I've always had a passion for these things. And I've always had a passion for worlds and world building and narrative and storytelling and cultures and subcultures. And a fascination for the subcultures that within subcultures and just, you know, and just, you know, and things like balance and the way things, you know, work and data. I've always been fascinated with data sets and discovering new data sets that you can go through. And don't confuse that with the sort of notion that I'm any sort of like heavyweight intellectual that can really understand and comprehend these data sets. It's really just things that I notice about myself. So, trying to bring it full circle and noticing that my timer is going to 10 minutes and knowing that my initial uploads to YouTube can be about 15 minutes, so I want to wrap it up. I think that what we'll be primarily doing with this channel is exploring solo role playing. I'm moving on from the notion of trying to get together a group of guys or gals to play, and really understanding that what I want to do is explore this hobby of solo role playing. And I think the first step is going to be looking at this as at Noah Patterson's. I've been playing a lot of this micro chapbook RPG rule set, and looking at the advancements that he's done with 1.75, but just really looking at that as kind of a starting point that I can work with. It's really a simple, rule set. We'll probably start off with the first couple of videos. We'll be probably exploring this really simple rule set and ways that we can, like hack it and work it around. And the first couple of videos might be stumbling around videos. Look in the comment, put in the comment section below if you're, discover this video or can respond to it. And if you know my old stuff, and I'll promote this stuff to the old stuff. And I love you, I love you, I love you. And I'm Cable Guy Incognito here, and it's role-playing games. And if you like role-playing games, subscribe. And I love you. And role-playing games. And if you're playing role-playing games and yada, 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 I love you. And at 11:11, I'll stop the video.